The enemy of Yishmael, that Yishmael represents, is an enemy that cannot be defeated by conventional methods. The danger of Yishmael is a much more subtle danger. There's no way to stop it, meaning there is no logical way of stopping people who are willing to die for their cause. What, they're threatened with death? Bring it on, gesundheit. That's what I want.
في مقطع فيديو منتشر على مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي يقوم طالب جامعي يهودي بسؤال حاخام يهودي حول كيف أن المسلمين يستجيب الله لدعائهم مع اتباعهم لدين مزيف. وعلى العموم فإن اليهود يعتقدون أن المسلمين يعبدون نفس الإله الذي يعبده اليهود ولكن فقط أن دينهم مزيف.
We have the same God as the Arabs. We believe in the same God, one God. So it's a paradox. See, the Christians believe in the Trinity, whatever that's supposed to mean. But Allah means God, the Elokat that we say, and they believe in the one God who created the world.
My question is about the war. The Gemara says that when the Listim pray to Hashem for success, they pray good, He grants them success. He helps them to steal. And I think the Sephardi Nusach is different than the Ashkenazi Nusach, but we learned Hashem Shomei Pilat Kol Peh.
Yeah, the Sephardi, yeah.
And moreover, I remember when I was in yeshiva, you told us that the Arabim are such a difficult opponent because they do have certain schusim and they have a certain kasher with Hashem. They have Mila, they have some version of kashrut, they have tzniot. Maybe some people could say they're better with tzniot than we are. And so my question is something that I've been struggling with, standing before Hashem and tefillah, feeling some sense of confusion and discouragement about that. And even though it hasn't been for me, I can imagine someone might feel something as negative as even betrayal, that to think that the Arabim are, they're praying to Hashem for success to hurt us. And we know that, we know that they did that. And we know that they had the success and that Hashem answered their prayers. So how do we deal with that confusion with tefillah if we think about that? And moreover, do we even have the right to stand before Hashem and say to Hashem, please Hashem, listen to our prayers, ignore them? We know that they're saying, Hashem, listen to our prayers, ignore them.
Yeah.
And then even more than that, is there any, is it hashkafically correct to even think of this as like a schusim arms race, or like a tefillah, like Hashem's counting a cheshbon of tefillot and schusim between us and between them?
Yep, it's a very, very difficult issue, and this is a concept that I admit has given me much confusion and uncertainty over the years. And that is the notion that prayer has a power, prayer has an efficacy, even when it is uttered by a rasha and even when it's for immoral purposes. This is the kayach of prayer if it is belev shalem, if it is truly sincere. There is something called dark spiritual energy. Tefillah is a spiritual energy, and even when it comes out of darkness, it has a certain power.
ليزيد على ذلك فإن الحاخام اليهودي يؤكد على قوة أحفاد إسماعيل، ويؤكد أن أكبر تحد لليهود هو مواجهة هؤلاء القوم أحفاد إسماعيل، ويقول أن قوتهم لا تكمن فقط في قوتهم الجسدية بل أيضا في البعد الروحي الذين يملكونه. كما أنه يقول وبما أن هؤلاء المسلمين من أحفاد إسماعيل فإن لديهم صلة خاصة بالله، وهذا ما يجعلهم أقوى من باقي أعداء اليهود، فهم يمكنهم تحصيل قوتهم الروحية من أجل تحقيق أهدافهم حتى لو كان ذلك يعني التضحية بأرواحهم. ولذلك لمواجهة خصم مثل أحفاد إسماعيل هناك حاجة لتطوير استراتيجيات وفقا لقوة روحية أعلى.
That the last and most difficult galus that Am Yisrael will face will be the confrontation with Yishmael. And he says Yishmael is the most difficult because they are the only one of our enemies that comes with a spiritual power. Meaning Esav, that represents physicality and brute force. So of course, in the long run at least, Ruchnius, spirituality defeats physicality. The danger of Yishmael is a much more subtle danger, Because Yishmael comes not only with physical brutality, but Yishmael comes with spiritual merits. They are a child of Avraham. They have a koach of prayer. They have a merit of Brit Milah, again, which goes back to Avraham. There is a tznius. In fact, one of the things that would be very, very funny if it wouldn't be said, I think Jordan wanted to not allow Israeli teenagers to go to Jordan because they said that they're lowering the standards of adolescent modesty. They felt that the Israeli kids were a bad influence on the Jordanian teenagers. Again, it would be funny if it wouldn't be said, but okay. So that raises the question that you're raising, again, which is very perplexing, and that means because they have these merits, they can pray for bad things. And there's a certain power in their prayer.
هناك شيء يجب أن نقوله هنا. وفقا لتعاليم الإسلام فإن الدعاء على الآخرين بالشر محرم شرعا باستثناء حالة دعوة المظلوم على من ظلمه. قال تعالى: لا يحب الله الجهر بالسوء من القول إلا من ظلم وكان الله سميعا عليما. حسنا، لنعد إلى موضوعنا.
And indeed, this is very, very clearly the case. If you think about this, the enemy of Yishmael, that Yishmael represents, is an enemy that cannot be defeated by conventional methods. There's no way to stop it, meaning there is no logical way of stopping people who are willing to die for their cause. What, they're threatened with death? Bring it on, gesundheit. That's what I want. You see, the Nazis, I have to say, at a minimum, if you can say something good about the Nazis, is that they were cowards. So when a Nazi thought he would be killed, starts negotiating when they saw that the end was near. And Hitler was enough of a coward that he took his own life in a quick way rather than facing the consequences. So Nazis were cowards. So cowards can be defeated by overwhelming military force. Mutual assured destruction only works when you either have cowards or at least normal people, people who don't want to die. But when you have people who don't care if they die, then how are you going to stop them? There's nothing you can do. So really, the statement of Rav Chaim Vital that Golus Yishmael is impossible to defeat by conventional military means, is even true on a simple political way. There's no way. You do your hishtadlus, but there's no particular way that you can guarantee anything. So the dilemma is we need spiritual ways of defeating them. And yet we do find that prayer is such a miraculous power in the universe